Cardinal Augustine Bea was one of the best-known scholars and promoters of Christian unity in the Catholic Church. In the time leading up to Vatican Council II, he was one of the eminent voices for dialogue, reconciliation, and unity. Cardinal Bea gave his scholarship, his life as a Jesuit priest toward this goal. And so for me, he's been a tremendous influence. It's Cardinal Bea who said, as I quoted him in the last video, "The more we live the gospel, the more we understand it. And the more we understand it, the more we will want to live it." I found that to be true. If we understand the inherent unity of the gospel of Christ, and that all who are in him are in each other by the Trinity, then we understand how the gospel continues to work its way into our lives and out into our relationships with each other. There are four things that Cardinal Bea did in his life that have been noted by the Vatican as his great accomplishments. The first was his unwavering commitment to conciliar ecumenism. That is the kind of ecumenism that involved others, not just me or one speaking to others. He was particularly noteworthy for his conciliar commitment to dialogue with Judaism. This was, of course, not entirely popular, and especially coming from a German Jesuit who had lived under the Nazis and experienced the Second World War. In fact, he experienced the First World War as a teenager. So this man was very prominent in the relationship of the Church to Judaism in the post-Holocaust era. Secondly, Cardinal Bea is noteworthy because of his rejection, as I've already indicated, of all forms of anti-Semitism. He named them, denominated them, and clearly rejected them, a voice that was also desperately needed in the 50s and 60s after the war. But this, I think, is one of the more intriguing contributions of Cardinal Bea. Not only was he deeply committed to reconciliation with Judaism and in a post-Holocaust way naming the evils and the sins of the Church, but he was committed to recovering the roots of Christianity that are deeply planted in Judaism. He saw as a biblical scholar that without Judaism, Christianity could not have a gospel in Jesus Christ. But fourthly, Cardinal Bea is noted, as I said in a previous video, for his contribution, his bare bones work, but important and necessary and constantly interpreted work called Nostra Aetate, which is one of the documents of Vatican II. It opened the door to the pursuit of ecumenism and interreligious relationships on the behalf of the Catholic Church with the whole world church and with other faiths. Pope Francis, in honoring the 50th anniversary of the death of Cardinal Bea, referred to him, and I quote, as a model of inspiration for dialogue. That's what Cardinal Bea has been for me, a model of inspiration for dialogue. Cardinal Bea said that we must love and respect the other. These are the primary principles of dialogue. They still are the primary principles, 50 years after his death. If we learn to love and not fear, if we learn to respect and to affirm and to embrace the other, we will by necessity enter into dialogue, and that dialogue will by necessity result in a deepening ecumenism between us. May God inspire us, help us, and push us forward in the work of ecumenism through the life and witness of Cardinal Augustine Bea.